We're off to EXH, Holland now for a tennis tussle between Boris Becker and Pete Sampras.
Hello again and welcome back to this very colourful scene at EXH in Holland for the 1991 Dutch World Tennis, a tournament which has had great champions in the past and is certain to have a great champion again today, because we have two of the best players in the world for the final. Here are the weather conditions. It's got quite a bit warmer and the wind has come up a bit. It's nearly 15 degrees, the humidity has dropped, so it should be very comfortable. The wind has gone up a bit, as you can see from that flag. But it's not too bad, not as bad as the last couple of days, and no rain is forecast for the hours ahead, so we should be lucky. Court looking in beautiful condition for the two players, Boris Becker and Pete Sampras. And as I said, they were both in such good form yesterday. I hope they sustain that form today. They'll be hitting sparks off each other if they do. This is not an ATP tournament, it is an exhibition-type tournament where these two great players were put straight into the semi-final stage, where they both won convincingly yesterday. And so the almost inevitable result was that they should meet in the final. They're playing for pride, of course. Money doesn't mean too much to these two fellas. They're both very rich indeed, particularly the one you're looking at the moment. There's Pete Sampras, the US Open champion, only 19 years old. And he had some interesting things to say in an interview we had with him earlier. So let's hear from Pete Sampras now.
Now, you have a very big match today against Boris Becker. What sort of tactics will you apply when you play him?
Basically what I did, yesterday against Ronald. I was very patient from the backcourt, and I came in on the right shots and served quite well. So it's going to be a tough match because he's very strong from the backcourt. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
Have you played him before?
I played him in Stockholm in an indoor Supreme Fast. So I've never played him on a slow European clay. So it should be interesting.
Now, both of you are playing the Grand Slam Open in Paris on Monday or Tuesday. You've got a very tough round, so you'll be looking for some form today. In preparation for Paris?
Yeah, basically I just want to make sure I'm moving well, and I feel, pretty confident about my game. I don't, obviously I don't want to get hurt. I've been hurt a lot this year, and I was fresh yesterday against Ronald, and I want to be fresh against Mooster when I play him.
Well, we've been delighted at Screen Sport to be able to televise your matches, and we wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
So there he is, Pete Sampras, moves beautifully on court, has one of the best serves in the game. Born in Washington, D.C., lives in Florida, Bradenton, only 19 years old, number 6 in the world. Final in Philadelphia this year, Memphis third round, semi-final Orlando, third round Monte Carlo. So he has had some practice on clay courts this year. And his highlights in 1990, he won 47 matches, lost 17. He won in Philadelphia, the big one, the US Open, and semi-finalist in those 3 other tournaments, Milan, Toronto, and Los Angeles. So at a very young age, he's got a very glittering career already behind him, and obviously another one in front of him. There's the man that the whole of the tennis world, and the whole of the world indeed knows. Born in Lehmann, in Germany, lives in Monte Carlo. 23 years old now, 2 in the world, having been 1 after winning the Australian Open. And he's had a lot of play this year, had some injuries as well, reached the final in Monte Carlo and Barcelona. He lost to the same player, Bruguera. Last year, his highlights, he won 71 matches, lost 15, and he won in Brussels, Stuttgart, Sydney and Stockholm. Finalist, of course, at Wimbledon to Edinburgh and in Tokyo, and a semi-final in the US. So by his standards, perhaps not quite as glittering as some other years, but still amazingly good. Learning to play very well on clay. When I say learning, he's played all his life on clay, but he's never actually won a major tournament on clay, which is really a surprising omission in a marvelous career so far. They have met before, these two players, and it resulted in a win for Becker.
2 minutes, please, gentlemen. 2 minutes.
But that win won't have all that much effect because it was indoors on a carpet court. Very different scene out here on clay. Players both warming up their serves. Here's the umpire, Hans Fleer. Watching the players warm up their serves, and these two serves are going to have a tremendous bearing on this match. Perhaps, Paul, more than any other shot.
Yes, they're probably two of the best servers in the game today, Bill. One mustn't forget Stefan Edberg and almost Lendel's first serve. Sampras served 100 aces when he won the US Open Championships last year. And Becker has probably got the best serve and volley game in the world. These players are probably going to make this court look quite fast, and both play a very positive, all-out attacking game. And it will really be a game dominated by power from both players. They will both be looking for some form before their difficult matches in Paris on Monday, Tuesday. Boris Becker plays Jordi Arrese. And Pete Sampras has got a very tough one against Thomas Muster from Austria. So both players looking for some form prior to the big Grand Slam Open in Paris on Monday or Tuesday of next week. Should be an exciting contest. Wouldn't like to say who would win. Boris Becker probably slight favourite. But I can assure you we're going to have plenty of things to talk about when these two players finally unleash their serves and volleys and ground strokes this afternoon.
The trophies waiting to be collected. And the winner will collect $40,000 and the runner-up $25,000. But they're both millionaires. In Becker's case, a multi-millionaire. And in Sampras's case, heading towards being a multi-millionaire. So things weren't like this in my day, Paul, or indeed in yours. I mean, we used to get a £10 voucher to go and spend at a sports shop.
Yes, I mean, these professional players are more like pop stars, the earnings that they can accrue both on the court in prize money and, of course, off the court on endorsements.
First set, Sampras to serve.
So Sampras won the toss, and a positive action right at the beginning. He elected to serve. A lot of players elect to receive on a slow court, not these two.
Love.
Well, that's a pretty good, positive, loose attitude to have in the first point of a match. Lovely serve, confident volley.
Love.
I'm just thinking, Bill, how unusual it is to see in a final two players who have both won Open Grand Slam events last year. Sampras with the US Open and Becker this year with the Australian Open. Very prestigious final, isn't it, for the Dutch organisers here in Ede?
That's absolutely right. Here we have two of the really top stars of tennis. Very fortunate for all. First mistake he's made.
Left. First service.
Such a fluent, easy action, that serve. Quite effortless.
Second mistake, one on the backhand, one on the forehand. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Actually played it quite late. Almost behind him when he hooked that round.
13.
Well, amazing. It's high standard so far, considering this is only the first game. It's a marvellous passing shot. It's always nice and gives you a lot of confidence in the first game if you can pass like that.
Yes.
Good return by Becker. Percentage return down the middle, dipping.
Advantage, Sampras.
Really is one of the loosest serves I've ever seen, Pete Sampras. Just a masterpiece of timing.
Yes.
Well, I must say, Paul, if the standard is maintained or increased in this match, we're going to be in for a special treat here.
I think it will be, Bill, because they're both very relaxed.
Advantage, Sampras.
They both obviously want to win the title, but they're here as a preparation for Paris. It will make for some good tennis, I'm sure.
Correction, the ball was good. First service.
Late call, and I'm sure Becker agrees. Good sharp umpiring.
Game Sampras. First game, first set.
A lot of similarities here. Both enormous serves, both very good volleyers, both presumably safe on their ground strokes, we hope, and both recently had injuries.
Yes, they're both, or Sampras particularly, is very injury prone. He has a lot of ankle problems, a lot of shin splint problems. And Becker also has had a lot of injuries as well recently, which has meant that he's a little bit short of practice, Bill.
Well, the first game won by Sampras, 230. Here's the prize money they're aiming for. I shouldn't think they even know what it is, these two boys out there. $40,000, $25,000. They will have had inducements to come here anyway, which I'm sure will perhaps be more than that. But a lot of prize money here in Holland, even down to the qualifying competition where they get $3,000 to go away with. So very happy and good event this.
Yes, it's a great effort really for a small town like Ada with only, what, 90,000 people. It's a tribute to the organisers and the tournament promoter to put on an event like this year after year, because it really has been established as the special event to play prior to the French Open Championships. It's enormous organisation goes into running a tournament like this, all the sponsors, the courtesy cars, the catering, and all the indoor courts are converted to very nice hospitality rooms and booths of different shops and stores, and I can't tell you the amount of effort that goes into it. A lot of it by the honorary members of the club, doing work, taking perhaps a week off holiday, and really getting stuck into putting tennis on here in Ada.
Well, they certainly have been rewarded with the two personalities they have in the final here. Terrific. The event was won last year by the Dutchman Paul Haarhuis. Before that, Ivan Lendl won it 3 times in a row. Becker to serve, love 1.
15 love.
I think return of serve, Paul, is going to be a very important shot in this match.
Yes.
Because the serves are so good. From the early indications, I would think that Becker is going to treat this court like a clay court and Sampras is going to treat it like a fast court. Would you agree?
Yes, I think that's right. They're both better on fast courts, and we mustn't forget that Boris Becker has actually got a good record on clay, although he hasn't ever won a major tournament. But he's reached the final of Paris and the semi-final, and he only recently just lost the final in Monte Carlo, so he is a good clay court player.
Good, tricky little shot by Sampras.
38-15.
He always looks in enormous control, Becker. You see, he's come into the net, went down the middle, really. Should have perhaps kept to the side, but just testing Sampras, giving him a couple of short balls early in the match.
$40-15.
Both players will know each other's strengths and weaknesses very well indeed, although they've only played once against each other.
Game Becker. 1 game all.
Yes, these two can look on each other as potential rivals for quite a long time, assuming they stay in the game.
Yes, when you think that Boris is only 22 years of age, or maybe 23 now, I mean, so young still. Jimmy Connors, what, 37, 38, Bill?
Yes, Becker does seem to have been around for an awful long time, doesn't he? But then if you win Wimbledon at 17... just discarded that, wasn't it, with arrogant ease.
15 love.
Very confident approach Sampras has to the game. That was amazing. Did he really mean it to be that good?
15 all.
I think he did. I think it's just cheek. It's arrogance. Look at that. Arrogance in the nicest possible way, I mean. My goodness. So confident.
First service.
Oh, that's brilliant. Early taken backhand.
30-15.
Yes, because Becker was on outside the court, he just upped the pace just to put the ball cleanly away. Becker having no chance at all.
And that is brilliant too. That was the difficult option he played.
30 all.
Again, Becker in his own mind knew he had to make a winner because he was so far running out of court that anything less than a winner, Sampras would have won the point.
30-40.
Missed by an inch.
Sorry, Bill, yes. And it's almost as if Becker has made a tactic just to take the pace off the ball a little bit. Some people thrive on pace and others not.
Now break point, second serve.
Game Becker.
So Becker takes an early lead. He's got the only break so far.
Becker leads
He leads
2-1
2-1 in the first set of this final. We'll be back.
Time.
So 3-2 to Becker in this first set. Just one break of serve. Sampras being broken to 30 in the third game. And Becker playing very composed clay court tennis at the moment. Mainly from the back of the court. He's been a couple of times to the net and been passed by brilliant forehands from Sampras. So I'm sure Becker feeling a little bit circumspect going to the net on that side. Always seems to have a smile on his face, Sampras. I think that mouth opens up sort of automatically, Paul. His friend Jim Courier says he's always got this grin on his face.
Becker's doing a bit of gardening, Bill. Yes,
Right.
Sampras is a very relaxed player, I must admit. Good to watch.
Love.
Met last year in Stockholm, these two, towards the end of the year, in October. Indoors, on a carpet court, Supreme Court, Becker won it 4-4. Close match.
Love.
He really is so powerful, Becker. But it's not only his strength and his shots, it's his whole personality within the game of men's professional tennis. He's a very dominant personality.
Yes, people don't take liberties with Becker, do they? Either on or off the court.
And of course, Bill, for German juniors and the youngsters coming up, it's so good to have a player like Becker at the top of the world ranking list and top of German tennis, because it means that the youngsters, the juniors coming up, can role model onto Becker. He's very professional, looks after himself well, behaves well. Great professional player.
Game Becker.
Didn't cope with that very well, Sampras.
Becker leads 4-2.
Becker's thinking so quickly because he had to play that backhand late, so he turned it into a drop shot from way behind the baseline. Very effective.
On the fast cement courts that Becker, there's Thomas Schmidt, Boris Becker's new coach. On the fast courts of America, Sampras is not used to those slow balls that bring him into the net.
38 love.
Well, he's capable of this sort of play, Sampras, this irresistible hitting of the ball.
Love.
Lovely depth to that volley from Sampras. Just a bit too cool then, Sampras.
40-15.
Just a bit too cool and casual.
Yes, I think he thought he could win that volley easily, but he has got a couple of points in the bag at 40-15, and with a serve like he's got, well, you can afford to miss a couple of shots like that. There we are.
Game Sampras. Becker leads 4-3. First set.
But with two fellas serving like this, a break of serve, even on a slow clay court, really takes some retrieving.
Yes, it does. I mean, both players relied totally on their serves to dominate their game. Sampras just doing a little bit of repair work on his racket. A lot of the players now use these plastic things. They put the plastic between the strings, and that blue is an implement that just pushes the plastic thing in the strings, which then stops the strings rubbing against each other, stops the friction, because they have their strings strung very tight indeed, and particularly on clay with a lot of topspin, then the strings often break. Those plastic things stop them breaking.
That first service percentage is amazing for a player who serves so fast to get over 80%, Sampras in. But then they both have terrific second services with huge kick to it.
Yes, I mean, 81% is, well, not unheard of, but over a 3 or 5 set match, that won't last 81%. Two of the best servers in the game today. Not the best necessarily, but two of the best.
Could almost feel Becker changing from his service grip to his forehand volley grip as he moved in then. It's like firing a great cannon when Becker serves, whereas when Sampras serves, it's all fluid.
30 love.
And when Becker is serving and volleying well, Bill, with a lot of rhythm, he gets in very close on the net, and it's very difficult to pass it.
He has tremendous rotation of the body during the serve as well, Becker. He comes right round with that big chest facing the net almost as he's hitting. Tremendous power into it.
30,
totally different action to Sampras. It's funny how all the big servers are totally different. Lendl, Becker, Ivanisevic, Sampras, Lendl.
Oh, that's a marvelous serve, isn't it? But all the players, or most of them, hit the ball at the top of its trajectory and reach up.
And jump. Look, oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Please, Mr. Producer, show us a slow motion. There it is. This really is great stuff, isn't it?
Becker leads 5-3.
No one can fail to be excited about that last rally.
Most players will give in when they're at the net, and they've almost fallen over as Becker did after one volley.
Love 15.
Very dangerous place for the centre line judge there in this match.
Should issue crash helmets, I think, Bill.
Yeah.
Love 30.
Didn't adjust for his geographical position. Too far forward to play that strength of shot with the ball that low. He's in trouble, Sampras. 3-5, love 30. First set.
Despite losing that last point, Bill, I get the feeling, I don't know whether you do as well, that Becker really is in control of this match.
Yes, I do. And himself. He looks totally comfortable. Or he did until that shot. I wonder what effect that'll have on him now, I should think.
30 all.
No, I mean, I think just win or lose this game, I just get the feeling that Becker is in this one extra gear than Sampras. He's growing a beard as well.
Sampras is such a good mover, rather like John McEnroe, that he can hit a shot, wait a second or two, and then go to the net and still be effective. Great volley. Very good play by Sampras to get out of that. So Sampras is still hanging in there. He's still one break behind, which leaves Becker in the first set, leading 5-4.
New ball.
Hello again, good afternoon, and welcome back to the Dutch World Tennis from Ada in Holland. And it's going to need a supreme effort by Pete Sampras now to break Becker's serve, because Becker will be marching out in a few seconds to serve for the first set. Totally in control of himself and his game. Previous winners of this event last year, the Dutchman Paul Haarhuis, who beat the Spaniard Javier Sanchez in the final, then Agassi, and before that, 3 years in a row, Ivan Lendl. So a very distinguished cast list. Will be joined by either Becker or Sampras. Ever the professional on and off the court. Becker doing a little bit of tidying up of the court. Keeping Sampras waiting a long time here. Great hitting by Sampras. Very studious stroke making by Sampras then.
Well, it really was a rally of power from both players. Becker in the air once again when he hits the ball on the serve. Sampras ending the shot with a great forehand down the line. That'll give him a lot of confidence in the first point of this game.
Huge dip of the knees, and then a jump from that position. Brilliant shot. He's had Becker do that twice to him.
Well, this really is great movement.
30.
We've been saying how well Becker moves, because Becker was in a good net position to cut off anything but that last cross-court shot.
Well, champions react to dangerous situations. Becker quick to the net at love 30.
Very good backhand volley. Hit it low, ended up 2 or 3 inches from the baseline. Remember, he got his first serve in at love 30. The chances are he'll do it again.
It's a wonderful timer of the tennis ball, Pete Sampras. All fluid motion. 2 break points for 5 all. Hasn't had any break points against his serve so far, Becker. Now he must survive 2.
Interesting how he went for the forehand wide on breakpoint down, Bill. Stored in these players' minds are the tactics that they have to apply at vital stages of the match.
Second break point. Oh, he's made a hash of that. And his length of driving was so good, Paul, wasn't it, that Becker had to play 3 half volleys on the baseline in succession.
I mean, against any other player in the world, Bill, Sampras would have won that last point. Against anybody. Maybe apart from, well, I don't know, Lendl and Becker. He did everything perfectly to win the point, to take it to 5 all. And here he is still at deuce.
He's still 19. Perhaps that's the reason. The impetuosity of youth. Had it for the taking then.
Advantage, Becker.
Becker coolly serves another first serve in to reach set point.
I thought the ball was out, actually.
Take him on, please.
Well, Becker has ringed the evidence there. Be a brave man if he goes against Becker's decision. Yes.
Game first set.
Yes,
Becker.
I'm not so sure players should actually
6-4.
ring the ball like that, Bill. One could argue that there's an influencing element going on there, but I'm sure Boris wouldn't have actually done it unless it was out, I suppose.
No,
Second set.
I think there was no doubt in his mind that that was the mark.
To serve.
So Sampras opening the second set.
Love 15.
In a not very distinguished way. Anything he can do with his feet or his head with a tennis ball, he'll do perfectly, Becker. Could have been a brilliant soccer player, had trials.
15 all.
German first division clubs were after his services. I imagine he could have played any sport. I think Sampras is the same. They have this God-given gift of perfect timing, application.
Sampras.
Good serving. So Sampras, as he did in the first set, takes the first game.
Second set. First set.
He leads 1-love, second set. So welcome back. And a very competitive final this is proving to be. Boris Becker winning the first set 6-4 by virtue of one break of serve. And there has been one break of serve in the second set. Becker broken in the fourth game, leaving Sampras 4-1 up.
There's our commentary positions there, Bill. We're high up there, behind the server, at the Sampras end, with a good view of the whole of the centre court.
Becker expecting that cross court.
Yes, it's about time one of the players passed down the line. They've both been going cross court every time. I'm sure we'll see it shortly.
Can you remember a lob in this match? I can't.
No, I can't remember. Well, this is pretty good of Sampras. I think he's quite prepared to give it, actually. No.
Oh. 15 all.
Well, rather surprising Becker should serve a double there. Gosh, he certainly makes up for it, doesn't he?
30, 15.
Certainly knows how to compensate.
All.
Yep, very good shot. Absolutely loaded that one, full of topspin.
13-14.
Boris needs to start pumping himself up because this match is going away from him at the moment. Sampras hitting the ball very well. It's a very fine dividing line between winning and losing a match like this.
Big point, this. And Becker squandered it.
Game Sampras. Sampras leads by 5-1, second set.
Well, what a turnaround in the fortunes of the two players. Becker looking so good in the first set, hardly making an unforced error. Now, what's he coming to do, Becker?
Well, he's looking at that serve, Bill. When he was 15 love up, he should have been 30 love up in his own mind.
I'm just pointing out there's no mark, I think, then.
I think also he could see the reaction of Sampras, because I think Sampras was in doubt about it. Still, that's all gone and past.
Serving for the second set, Sampras, 5-1 up.
Love 15.
Has this ability, which all great players have, of increasing the pace with no apparent change of attitude or stroke.
Oh! 15-all.
A little bit risky that by Boris, that semi-half volley. Topspin return.
Becker, Bill, completely lost his consistency at the moment off the ground. Needs to have a long rally to win that long rally, just to get him charged up again.
First service.
Tough.
40-30.
So, that bit of luck for Sampras, and he's had two bits of luck off the net cord. And that is now set point to level the match. Very close, but just out.
6-1.
So the match is absolutely poised now. We're in for a titanic final set, that's for sure. These two boys are set all. We'll be back in a minute. So Sampras 4-3 up now. 3 breaks of serve in this set, 2 to him.
Love 15.
That's a dangerous, beautiful shot.
15-all.
And that's the only time in this match that Sampras has employed that particular shot. Sliced away down the line there. Usually gone for it with topspin. A very flexible player, Sampras.
$15-30.
Second double fault. Could prove as costly as the other one, which gave away a break point. Well, this is becoming very interesting. Now, here are 2 break points. Remember, Becker was 4-love down. And if he wins one of these 2 points, he'll be 4-all.
Game Becker. Four games all, final set.
Well, this is now very much a psychological match as well as a match full of skill, courage, great shot making. And the psychological benefits have now shifted from this man right back the other end of the court. Becker, 4 games in a row, serving in the final set for a 5-4 lead. Yep, very coolly played.
Love 15. Love 30.
Well, you could see Becker's reaction to that shot. Sampras hardly changes his expression throughout the entire match. Very unemotional on the surface. I don't know what's going on underneath. 4-all, love 30. First serve deserted Becker again. And the second.
Love 40.
My word, what an awful time to serve a double fault. 3 break points. It's needed a very extra special serve to fail to produce a good return of serve from Pete Sampras. He has returned exceptionally well. There's that very wristy forehand of his, which has produced so many spectacular winners. Now, often the third break point is the hardest of all to save. Becker just taking a little extra time on this point. This could decide the match, this point. Just long.
Yes.
Implying he's not happy with the tension there. Hasn't missed many of those big forehands from mid-court. So what a recovery this would be by Becker, should he win this match. 4-love down, final set. Love 40 at 4-all. And now at deuce. Great serve.
Becker.
Just when he needed it. This for his 5th game in a row to lead 5-4. No.
Yes.
Just that slight relaxation in the tension for Becker. And he just didn't concentrate hard enough on that shot. Perhaps going for something just too big, too early. On the line.
Advantage, Sampras.
Just a perfectly struck backhand. Fourth break point. Becker making sure he's got the newest possible ball. With which he serves the almost inevitable ace. He is an amazing man, Boris Becker. He can produce these big serves just at the vital moment. wonderful volley. Wonderful stop volley at full stretch.
Advantage, Becker.
Had to make that half volley safe there. And that was a very good attempt at a pass again by Pete Sampras. Cut off in mid-air by Becker with one of those wonderful acrobatic volleys which he's so famous for. This again, a point for 5-4.
Correction. That's first service.
Quickly corrected by the umpire. Clearly in.
Game, Becker.
Sensational game by Becker. Sensational tennis by both men, really. What a scoreline. Now Becker leads 5-4. Final set. And welcome back to a really sensational final in this tournament here between Becker and Sampras. Remember, Pete Sampras leading 4-love final set. Now 5 games in a row to Becker when he was seemingly doomed. And this man had 4 chances, Sampras, to break in that game and didn't take any of them, or Becker saved them all. Sensational stuff.
Well, Boris Becker has been living dangerously since he was 17 years of age when he won the Wimbledon Championships. It's his style of play to leave everything to the last minute. Sampras, temperamentally, just a little bit too relaxed. It's such an advantage sometimes to be relaxed, but Becker's temperament has just brought him through this match up to 5 games to 4. Incredible resolve that Becker relies upon at crucial times in his matches and throughout his whole career.
So Sampras, seemingly almost a winner at 4-love. Now serving to stay in the match. 4-5. And that's the first lob in the entire match. You'd think he'd been practicing it for the last 2 hours. Absolutely perfect. Heavy topspin.
All.
Now he just drew his racket, the face of the racket, across the ball. That put side spin on it. And that was enough to take it wide.
Still hasn't found his true consistency like he did in the first set, Becker. Take nothing away from him, though, to get to this stage when really most players would have been down and out in the dressing room having a massage.
There's that little bit of extra pace from Sampras, which is so disconcerting for his opponents.
Okay, Sampras. Five games all, final set.
Well, we could well have a tie-break ending to this match. That perhaps would be a suitable finale. That game coolly held by Sampras. Now Becker has it all to do again. 5-all final set.
No, just out. Again, I don't know why these umpires keep saying this. Sampras is not arguing at all. The ball was, I thought, out. Sampras is not arguing. The umpire causes himself all sorts of problems by trying to be clever and asking the linesman to adjudicate when he's already made the decision.
Yeah, we look straight down that line from where we're sitting, and that was clearly just an inch out. It's a great serve.
30, love.
Yes, I think it's inexperience of these umpires to do things like that, Bill. It's the farthest line away from the umpire. No players arguing. Still, luckily we didn't have any incident there.
Love.
Suddenly, just when it matters, he's refound his service. Bad return then from Sampras. So Becker leads 6-5, final set.
Becker leads by 6-5, final set.
Hello and welcome back to Ada for the Dutch World Tennis, and what a finale to the final we're having here between these two great players, Becker, Sampras. Sampras leading 4-love final set. Becker pulled him back to lead 5-4, 5-all. Now Becker leads 6-5. Sampras for the second time having to serve to stay in the match or to take this final set into a tiebreak. Some ending the Dutch crowd are getting here. And for the first time in the match, the luck off the net cord has deserted Sampras.
That's one of his favourite shots, that forehand cross court. He's hit it very well all day, really. It's a cheap point, very little effort, gets the point over quickly. Bad shot from Sampras.
Oh,
Bad
dear.
shot.
He anticipated that volley and was right on top of the net.
Well, that should have been cross-court wide, pushing Becker out wide to the forehand. That error could be seen after this match as being very, very costly indeed.
Sampras 15-30.
Yep.
Thrashes the ball into the net.
40.
Would you believe this? He's given away 2 match points with that shot.
And that last shot, Bill, was really the result of that volley, because he was very annoyed with himself.
So match point to Becker. That's it.
Game, set, and match. Becker.
An incredible escape by Boris Becker.
2 sets to 1.
And a tribute to his match-winning qualities. Terrific display by 2 great players.
Dat was dus
Well, it's almost like having an ice-cold shower to have an ending like that after a terrific beginning to that set by Pete Sampras. And then Boris Becker fighting his way back.
I think no other player in the world would have got back from that stage, Bill. Becker, with his extraordinary temperament and character that's been dominating the game for so long, he really is a very, very dominant personality, as we've said in our commentary, and he just gets out of scrapes. In life, he's been climbing ladders and achieving goals all his life, and just look at this, what a way to end in typical Boris Becker fashion. Pete Sampras must be so dejected after really having this game absolutely on toast, but this will help Becker's confidence going into the French Open enormously. Becker almost unemotional when he wins this match. Look, you wouldn't even believe that he's won this match. He's not very satisfied with his form today, but he's managed to win the match from being really down and out.
I think he must have been consumed by relief. I don't think I've ever seen Boris Becker end a match, a winning match like that, with so little emotion, other than probably a huge inward sigh of relief. That's what these two boys have been aiming for, this trophy. Won by illustrious players in the past, 3 times by Lendl, once by Agassi, once by Paul Haarhuis. And the reception committee out there on court to give the spoils of victory to Becker and the consolation prize to Pete Sampras. Quite amazing match. Full value for money for everybody here.
Hij speelde een prachtige partij. Hij werd tweede, maar hij hield ons allemaal in de bal. Dames en heren, applaus. Pete Sampras.
Tremendous applause for a terrific player, Pete Sampras. He's going to win an awful lot of titles in his career.
Very likable person, very cool, very calm, very relaxed, very easygoing.
Fantastische partij gespeeld. En wat is een betere voorbereiding voor Parijs dan het toernooi van heden. Dames en heren, op de tweede plaats, Pete Sampras.
Well, it's unusual for the men to get a bouquet of flowers. I don't know who's going to give that to.
Dan is het wachten op de man waar eerder vooruit is gelopen.
Boris Becker is changed yet again.
In de media begin deze week ten spijt. Hij is gewoon hier gekomen. Hij kwam, hij zag en overwon. Boris Becker!
Well, two absolutely wonderful athletes.
Wat tennis inhoudt. Gisteren liet hij zien.
Well, he'll be going into the French Open with a lot of confidence now. And Becker's got a bouquet of flowers as well, so be interesting to see what who they give it to. Oh, to the cameraman. So I would think that was a terrific ending, Paul, to a terrific tournament. And Boris Becker going off, climbing on board an aeroplane, no doubt this evening, to head for Paris, as will Pete Sampras. And these two boys are going to be meeting each other a lot in the years to come. But it'll be quite rare for them to have a match quite like this. Titanic ending from all of us here at Screen Sport in Holland, from Paul Hutchins, myself, Bill Threlfall. We hope to see you again soon. For the moment, it's goodbye.